Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here on Keep Running with BK, and we're going to continue our discussion today about 80-20 training, specifically around preparing for a 10K. And in previous videos, I have shared about how to prepare for 80-20 training. I talked about the base training phase, and in this video we're going to dive into specifics around my planned approach for the peak training phase. So we'll be right back right after this. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video here on Keep Running with BK, and today we're going to dive deeper into the 10K training plan in Matt Fitzgerald's book on 80-20 training. And in previous videos, and you can find down in the show notes below, I'll provide links to some videos that I've done earlier in this series where we talk about determining your threshold heart rate, how you can measure that, and then how you can calculate your training zones. I talk about the different types of runs that you primarily focus on during this training plan, and I actually then broke down my own customized approach to fit my training volume as well as my training cadence throughout the week of how I'm going to implement that plan through the base training phase. And today we're going to focus specifically on the 4 weeks of peak training that I'm going to be following and how I've customized that. And then in a subsequent video, I'll actually reflect back on how the base training phase went, what lessons I learned. If you've been following the channel the past couple of weeks, you'll know that I have been wrestling with some minor injuries, so I've had to take some time off, and so I've had to tweak the plan. In today's video, I'm going to focus on what I would be doing for this next 4 weeks in the peak training phase as if I didn't have any injuries. And of course, I'll have to adjust accordingly as I get over that and as I get back into this. But I really want to keep the continuity of the series on what a 10K training plan looks like following the 80-20 plan. So before I do that, if you're new here, I want to say welcome to the channel, and I want to invite you to subscribe and check out some of the other videos on the channel. I'm in the midst of an 80-20 training series right now, but I've done other videos on MAF training, training for specific distances like the half marathon, and all things running. And as always, I welcome comments down below. I welcome suggestions or questions that you might have. I'm always looking for additional topics to do videos on, so if you have something in mind, feel free to share that in the comments down below. If you find any value in what you're hearing in today's video, I'd appreciate you clicking the like button, as that helps to promote not only the channel and these videos, but also running content in general, and that's always welcomed. And with that, let's dive into the specifics around peak training with the 10K 80-20 training plan. All right, so very similar to what I did for the base training phase, I'll look at each one of these weeks and I will try to point out where I have made some customizations and really just quickly speak about each of the different runs during the week and what it's intended to target. So looking at week 5, so again, I did 4 weeks of base training. I'm going to do 4 weeks of peak training, and then I have a 2-week taper, and then I think I have a week off, and then I'm going to start the 80-20 training plan for the marathon, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. After that taper period, there's actually 2 things that are going to be occurring. One is I'm going to either run a 10K race, or I'm going to at least do a 10K time trial, similar to what I did last year. And then if you haven't heard, I announced in my last video that I'm facilitating a virtual running event for supporters and friends of the channel called the 24-Hour Backyard Challenge. It's a virtual event where every hour on the hour I'm going to be running a mile. And I'm inviting you to join in that challenge by emailing me your name and saying, hey, you're in. And whether you're going to do the full challenge, which is 24 hours, if you're going to do the half challenge, which is 12 hours, or if you're going to do the third challenge, which is 8 hours. So starting at 6:00 p.m. local time on Friday, June 10th, I will start running every hour on the hour for 24 hours. And I mention that because that also occurs right around the time where my 2-week taper period following this 80-20 training plan for the 10K occurs. So I'm probably going to do my 10K time trial maybe midweek, maybe on that Wednesday. I guess that would make it the 8th, and then I will do the 24-hour challenge on the 10th. And so I use this time to, one, promote that virtual event that you're welcome to join. It's free. You just need to email me at bkskeeprunning@gmail.com. But also kind of explaining to you what's going to go on here at the end of this training plan. So again, looking here at week 5, I'm going to continue with the Foundation 7 run. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, throughout the plan, I'm going to do 5-minute warm-up, 40 minutes in zone 2, and then a 5-minute cool down to get back down to zone 1. The high intensity workout starting on Tuesday is going to be a speed play 7, and that is going to be consistent for week 5 and week 6, where I will be doing a 5-minute in zone 1 warm up, 5-minute in zone 2 to continue to warm up just a little bit more intense. I'm going to do 2 minutes in zone 4 followed by 2 minutes recovery, trying to get back down to zone 1, and I'm going to do that 6 times. For a total of 24 minutes of high intensity effort, followed by 5-minute cool down. So that'll be about 39 minutes of total running on Tuesday. On Thursday, I'm going to be doing a short interval 4 run on week 5, and in week 6, I'll be doing a short interval 5, so that's slightly different, but it's again 5-minute zone 1 warm up, 5-minute zone 2 to continue to warm up a little bit more intense, and then I'm going to do 10 times a 1-minute high intensity zone 5 effort followed by 2 minutes recovery. So I may actually go to the track for this so I can kind of get an idea of where this is. It'll be a little bit more controlled environment, a little bit more controlled and known course that I'll be doing this on, so I don't have to focus on is there traffic or anything like this or keep looking down at my watch. I'll kind of get an idea of what 1 minute high intensity is followed by 2 minutes, and it'll be a little bit easier for me to track and monitor that. So that's how I'll actually perform this particular workout. That's 45 minutes total, with about 30 minutes of it being high intensity. In week 6, I'm going to actually do something very similar, but it'll be 8 times, and it'll be 1.5 minutes intensity. So a little bit longer, about a half a minute longer, and a half a minute longer recovery as well. And so that will increase the total workout by 2 minutes, with 2 minutes more high intensity. So these are going to be pretty intense workouts compared to what I've done thus far in the plan, from the base fitting to peak training. One of the other significant changes is my long runs are going to be a few miles shorter. Looking at this, I kind of had to take what was in the plan based on what's in the book, as well as kind of where my mileage is and that sort of thing, and kind of do a slight hybrid here. But for both weeks 5 and 6, I'm going to be doing a long run with a fast finish 1. So I will be doing a half-mile warm-up in zone 1, followed by 8.5 miles in zone 2. So not a whole lot different than what I would normally do for a long run. But then the last mile, I'm going to be running in zone 3. And what this is really targeting is training the body and training the legs in those later miles to be able to kind of handle a little bit more stress, handle pushing through that tiredness, really getting them ready and hardening the legs for the actual 10K effort. Then in week 7, again, I'm going to do Foundation 7 easy runs on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But what's going to be different on Tuesday is a long interval 2 run. So 5 minutes and 5 minutes of warm up, and then I'm going to be doing 3 minutes at zone 4. So slightly less intensity. It's going to be in zone 4. I'm going to be holding that for 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, sorry, followed by 2 minutes at zone 1, and I'm going to do that 4 times, followed by a cool down. So it's going to be 35 minutes of total running. 20 minutes of that will be at the higher intensity. So continue here in week 7. We're doing a speed play 6 run On Thursday, we've done some speed play in the base phase, but this is going to be 1 minute at zone 5, so it's going to be pretty intense running, followed by 2 minutes recovery, and we're going to be doing that 7 times. Then what's going to change on Saturday, rather than doing a long run with a fast finish, I'm actually going to be doing a fast finish 8 run. So that's obviously going to be shorter. It's only going to be about 1 hour and 5 minutes by my estimation. That's a 5-minute easy warm-up, 35 minutes in zone 2, followed by 15 minutes of zone 3 running. So I would do that as one of my higher intensity runs during the week in the base training phase, but after 2 pretty hard effort, I'm going to have another one of those on Saturday in place of a long run. All right, the next thing we're going to look at here is week 8, and I put this on a totally different picture here that I'm sharing just because there's a lot of details in it. Again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday are going to be foundation runs, so they're going to be fairly easy. I'm going to cut back here on Wednesday. It looks like just a little bit because of the intensity of Tuesday and the intensity on Thursday. Tuesday is going to be a long interval 4. So now I'm doing 3 minutes in zone 4, followed by 2 minutes recovery 5 times, and I've got a warm up and a cool down on either side of that. And then the real focus here is Thursday's mixed interval 3 run. So what this is going to look like is, again, the typical warm-up that we've seen, but then I'm going to do 1 minute in zone 5 followed by 2 minute recovery twice. Then I'm going to do 3 minutes, so slightly longer, in zone 4. So slightly longer, slightly less intensity, followed by 2 minutes of zone 1. And then in the middle, I'm going to be doing 10 minutes in zone 3. So one of the things we're seeing here is we're seeing shorter interval at high intensity, slightly less intensity for slightly longer, and then again slightly lighter or lower intensity for even longer. So zone 5, zone 4, zone 3, and then we're going to ramp back up, zone 4, zone 5, and then shortening the amount of duration there. And this is really hardening what we're trying to accomplish in peak fitness in preparing for a 10K. Is being ready to run longer at these higher intensities, and by mixing it up, we're really going to put my body through the test and getting ready for a 10K time trial. So this is going to be really the hardest workout of the entire training plan, from what I can tell. It's going to be almost 1 hour, and 44 minutes of that is going to be high intensity effort. So that's pretty much the duration, if not slightly longer than what I intend to run the 10K at. So that will be a real test. I'll follow that up on a Friday with a recovery run. That may be the first time I recall seeing a recovery run in this training plan. Recovery run basically means that the entire duration, in this case for recovery 7 of 50 minutes, it's all going to be at zone 1. And I've done a video on where I confess I struggle with zone 1. It's hard for me to maintain that. It takes a real focus. I got to really follow the heart rate monitor and make sure that I am slowing down, I'm not pressing, and I have to really dial it back. So that'll be an interesting one to really test myself, so I can really get a proper recovery from that run on Thursday and really flesh out that lactic acid and the antibodies and other things that kind of build up in the body that I want to get out of there, so that I can go into Saturday doing a long run with Speed Play 1. So what that's going to look like is a half mile in zone 1, 1 mile in zone 2, and then I'm going to be doing, it looks like, some speed play for about 8 times over the next 8 miles. So the first quarter mile, that'll be in zone 3, followed by 3/4 of a mile in zone 2. So that'll be fun. I'll probably do that down at the bike trail, where there's half-mile markers on the ground, and I can use those as some visual reminders of looking down at my watch and kind of gauging when I need to adjust into those various zones. And that will wrap up the peak training. I hope that you found that interesting. Again, continued easy running for roughly 80% of that time, 80% of that mileage, either in the off days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as well as warming up and cooling down after each of those workouts. And then on the long run or on the weekend run, a large majority of that is in those easier intensities to really allow the body to recover, yet maintain our endurance strength and keep our training volume up. Appreciate you checking into the channel. Again, just a reminder to subscribe if you're new here. Don't forget about the virtual 24-hour backyard challenge. I look forward to getting your emails and look forward to many of you stepping up to the plate and participating in that. And until next time, stay safe, train smart, and keep running.